Hey folks, I'm Glenn.
I'm Maureen.
Welcome back to the cabin. Today we are resupplying the cabin and it's a cold, brisk day. A lot of you have been asking about, how about a cabin tour? So today it's a cabin tour right here on Cabin Life.
Come on in. Welcome to our cabin on our 40 acres in the wilderness of Ontario, Canada. The cabin is off-grid and dry, which means it doesn't have any electricity or running water. It's 12 by 16. We built it in 2016, just after we purchased the land because of some delays in the real estate. We lived here while our homestead was being built. We lived here for 4 months during the first winter. We've been on the property for 8 years, and the cabin is a continuous work in process. We finally got all the walls finished and they look great. And this is my kitchen area. I love this. We found this cabinet and it does everything for storing our dishes and our food. It's my work area and we're keeping somewhat minimum. I have a dishpan to do the dishes and then I dispose of it in the gray water area and have the bucket for the water, and it works out great. It's just the right enough, does just the right space for what I need. And now let's go to our dining area. This is an oak table that we had picked up. We thought it was about the right size for the cabin. This is our eating area, our food prep area. We play our games, do some reading, and general relaxation around the table. We're looking at possibly a live edge maple, flip down top, flip up top. We haven't quite decided yet. Any suggestions are welcome. Let's go to our source of heat and one of our sources of cooking in the cabin. We put in a wood stove. Originally we had propane heat. We switched over to a wood stove and we both love it. The wood stove is plenty big enough to heat the cabin for what we need. It's been installed according to all the regulations and it is wet certified. It has the proper stove pipes and chimney pipes, so the cabin is safe and it looks great. I love it. It's our cabin TV. We get to relax watching the fire and it's just a great source of relaxation in the cabin. And speaking of relaxing by the fireplace, we have this rocking chair here. And we can use it for reading, relaxation, watching the fire, watching our cabin TV. And now for the coziest area of the cabin, the bedroom area.
This is where the action happens.
It's a double bed. It's nice and comfy. And we also custom made our bed out of pine. We're quite proud of that. And we have lots of pillows so we can lounge on the bed, sit back, watch the fire with our favorite beverage, read a book, look out the windows or at the beautiful views. It's just a great spot in the cabin. This is one of the areas that's still in the process. We want to put some heavy curtains across here so that whoever is sleeping don't have to worry about the draft coming in the door if someone goes out. Plus it adds some nice privacy and blocks out the light. And we hang up some nice lights and it'll be really nice. You have to keep tuned for our changes. And of course our bathroom area. This is still majorly under construction. We'll be putting in a potty bench and we're deciding whether we're going to have a bucket that we just take outside to the thunderbox or whether we put in a composting toilet. We haven't quite made all those decisions yet. We'll have a sink in there. So right now it just looks like kind of a storage unit with a bucket. And we have storage up top so we can put all our off-season linen and stuff up there. When we first built the cabin, we bought these two lights. They're solar powered. They give off 600 lumens of light. They last about 3 hours, so they're really good because we use one, then the other. That's like 6 hours of good light. In addition to that, we've added on some battery-operated lights in different ways. We have them up on the cupboard in the kitchen area. They just give a nice ambient light. And some here on the table. We set up these two lights. We just put lots of little mini lights in the jars. They work nice, giving a nice ambient light. And there's natural light coming in the windows, and there's beautiful views from all sides.
All right, so for those who are wondering, how do we do our cooking? We've got 3 ways that we accomplish that.
We use a butane stove either in the winter or the summer, or we use the wood stove in the winter mostly because there's already heat there.
And we also have the outdoor fire pit, which we do use a lot, especially in the summertime.
Right.
And for water, we do haul our own water for drinking and washing, and we get that from the spring.
It's very good. It has no chemicals in it. It's very pure and fresh. A lot of the people in the area use it. So whenever I'm going into the village or going on errands, I'll stop by and I'll pick up some jugs of water, and then we have them for the cabin.
We do try to use the space that we've got. We kind of like to keep our footprints to a minimum, and we are environmentally aware, and we'd like to do things, recycling and that kind of a thing.
When we first built the cabin, we had a propane heater as warmth, and then we changed over to a wood stove, and it's beautiful because it not only gives us warmth, it gives us entertainment with a beautiful fire. It's like our cabin TV.
I don't mind working with the wood stove, and as long as you're careful with it, you observe all the safety measures and so forth. Wood fire, wood heat is it's just a nice dry heat, and as Maureen says, it's great for staring at the flame, and you get hours of entertainment on our cabin TV. And with the wood stove, we have an upgrade that we just recently latched onto, and that is a porta power pack. We can plug in a 20-watt fan into that, and that'll help to provide air circulation throughout the cabin in the heat of the summer, and also during the winter when the stoves are rocking, it helps keep the airflow going and less draft that way. More even heat and comfortable. In this cabin, we chose not to have a loft, and mainly for the reason that we just don't like to have the sweltering heat from the wood stove coming up and heating you out in the middle of the night, and then having to open a window or whatever, and then down below it can get quite cold. So we decided to do away with the idea of a loft, and we'll put the bedroom on the main floor.
The loft. I'm thinking, well, I'm just a little bit too old to climb up that ladder anymore. Wouldn't have to worry about the heat. I'd have to get up there.
Oh, the loft. It's one thing having one, and it's another thing just getting up there to it. Huh?
Or getting down in the middle of the night.
So we are loftless.
And for entertainment, well, we have the wood stove. I love watching the fire. We both do. And then we have some board games, cards, some books to read, a few other games that we enjoy playing.
We also have a little radio, battery-operated radio. We can, tune into the weather or listen to some tunes or talk shows, that kind of thing, and keep abreast of what's going on in the outside world.
And Glenn also brings up some of his own music as well. And most of the time, when the weather permits, we're outside anyway, out enjoying the wilderness.
The cabin's a place where we can commune with nature and live a more simple life, get back to basics, and directly be in touch with our surroundings. Less screen time, more green time, as I say. So, Now to keep some cold storage, which is necessary for our coffee cream and that kind of a thing, we don't actually have a fridge in here yet. I suppose that could be a future upgrade, but for now we've been using a cooler, and that seems to work out okay. It's a matter of regulating things. But Maureen came across a good idea. She noticed the cupboard was cool down below near the floor there.
I noticed that when I went to get my pots and pans out to make dinner one night, that the pans were nice and cool. Even though the cabin's nice and warm from the fire, the warmth hadn't got into the cabinet. So I mentioned that to Glenn, and we came up with the idea of putting some styrofoam in the cupboard and see how that does for holding even more cold. And Glenn also suggested that putting a vent out to the outside so that in the winter we could bring some more cool air in to keep it cold, even though it's nice and toasty in here with the wood stove.
Could be worth a try. So the cabin for us really has been a progression as time has gone on. We both started off, camping in the wilderness in a tent and, roughing it. So we were accustomed to just having a flashlight and cooking over the fire. And as time has gone on, we have, progressed to more upgrades and eventually building the cabin. It's still very much like camping, and we've always tried to kind of keep it that way. It's just we're getting older now, and we do appreciate some of the minor comforts like a soft bed and a warm fire, right? So, yeah. For us, using battery-operated things and devices has always been a pretty good way to go, as long as it's energy efficient and you kind of mind when you have light on or light off, right?
We use solar lights and battery lights all the time. And I tell you, it sure teaches you appreciation of being able to flick the light on and off at home. But here at the cabin, we enjoy having the simplicity of just the battery lights, the solar lights, and it does us just fine.
I like the idea of being less dependent on the grid, more self-sufficient, more just independent.
You may have noticed our curtains, well, they're a little bit creative right now. We're looking at what type of curtains we want to put on the windows, and that's probably going to be one of our next investments in the cabin, is getting some nice window treatment.
I don't mind waking up to the sunrise and even the sun coming in the window as long as I'm ready to be awake. But when I'm not ready for that, I don't like to have the light coming in the windows. So I'm kind of leaving it in Maureen's hands to get us some blackout screens, especially for the bedroom area. And as she said, we can put a curtain across there and get a blackout screen, and then there could be light in the rest of the cabin and it won't bother the person sleeping. Well, if you've enjoyed the video, give it a big thumbs up and please subscribe. We really appreciate you watching, and thank you so much for all of our viewers and subscribers that have helped our channel to grow. We have more videos coming. That's all for this one. I'm Glenn.
I'm Maureen.
We'll see you next time. Over and out.
Take care.